Hi, everybody. This is Miss Edmiston, and it's come to my attention that many of you are just a little confused on where to locate things. So I wanted to show you my screen here and give you a sense of just where to locate things for ELD and our ELD class. So let's start with something that I put together and shared with each of you. You'll find this in your Gmail, and I know that many of you don't check your Gmail daily, but I want to recommend that you do check your Gmail several times a day, because not only will your Google Classroom assignments show up here, but also emails from teachers and other people. So this is where you will find an email from me that has your first name on it, and it's shared a document. You can also find that document in your shared documents folder in your Drive. So let me pop over to the Google Drive. This is your Google Drive. Right now it's on my English class, but I can go anywhere I want here. So down here we have my Drive, which is where all of your class files are. And anything that you do in Google Classroom will show up here under your Classroom tab. And so the Classroom tab is right here. And when you click on it, it will show all of your classes. And so as you can see, I am tracking a lot of my own classes plus other classes. So that's what you're locating here. Down here, you have a button called Shared with Me. And if you click on this button, it will have all the documents that people have shared with you. And in your case, you're going to have a document that has your first name, all in caps. And when you pull it up, it'll look something like this. Now, this is Naweed's, and you'll see that it says Naweed Distance Learning Schedule. And he hasn't filled anything out yet because I've shared it with him and he hasn't found it yet. But that's why I'm doing this video. So as you can see, at the top is a list of everything that Naweed needs to attend for the week for my classes. He's in two of my classes, my English class and my ELD class. And so for that reason, he has two different colors up here on his calendar. And each one of these underlined things, anytime you see one of these, that is a link. And in this case, these are all the Zoom links to our meetings. I've even put the particular meeting group that you're in here, so you won't get confused with which group you're in. And if you look at this calendar each day, you'll never miss another Zoom meeting for my class, which is the point. Down below, as we talked about, many of us in our check-ins last week, I want you to set up a plan and a routine for your distance learning for the remaining 5 weeks. And so you can see here, I ask you to set a wake-up time and a bedtime. To add to the above schedule with any other things, commitments, or Zoom meetings for other teachers that you have. And then to answer the question, when will you study? Choose a specific time. Now, your times might be different than mine, and that's fine. But I do want you to set up a plan and a routine that myself and our teacher interns can help hold you accountable for. And then I want you to think about where you're studying. Is it working for you? Do you need to change that setting so it's a little bit more quiet and you have a better chance to focus? So you're going to describe the setting here. And then it's important during these times to schedule time for you and for your family. And so I've left a little space here at the bottom for you to fill that out and schedule that into your day as well. Now, I know many of you are saying, Miss Edmiston, I don't know what that looks like. I'm so glad you asked, because right here, if you click on this link, it will take you to voila, Miss Edmiston's schedule. And I have filled out the same form for myself, so you can see, and I like to color code, so you can see what my schedule looks like each day. This is why when you miss an ELD check-in, I don't really have a lot of other room for you to fill in and make that up. So you need to do your best to make up your time. If you can't make that time, then you're going to have to pop into ELD tutoring and meet with me there during the week instead, because that's really the only extra time I have that we can make up that check-in. But I'd prefer not to, so make your check-in times. All right, Moving back to your calendar, we've been looking at Naweed's. I'm going to pop over and take a quick look at Mateen's. For those of you that do not have me for English, you'll see that your calendar is much more simple. And in your calendar, you have the 2 ELD discussion groups, the independent reading on Monday and the Listen Wise on Wednesday. And then you have the check-in and then the links to our tutoring each day in the middle of the week. And then the rest of the form is exactly the same. So what I'd like you to do is complete your form. Go in again to the Google Drive, located under Shared with Me. Again, it will have your name and the title Distance Learning Schedule. You can also search for it in your Drive. And then use this. Make this a schedule that you look at each day that you keep as an open tab. You can see I have lots of open tabs on my screen. But for you, leave this up and then have it up there so that you can refer to it each day and know exactly what times we're meeting and have all of the links in one place. So my hope is that this becomes a really helpful tool for you in distance learning. I also have something that I posted a few weeks ago, and I know many of you probably haven't looked at it. So right here on each of your forms is a little document that says Tips for Distance Learning Success. And especially this gray box right here on the left-hand side of the screen is going to be super helpful for you. It gives you ideas for exactly what to do and how to plan your day and be successful at the distance learning piece. I'm not going to go through the entire piece there today, but I do want you to take a look at it. And then in our next check-in, when we look at your schedule, we'll talk about it as well. There's also some tips for how to stay healthy on the right-hand side, and then how to stay emotionally healthy at the bottom of the gray box. If you scroll down to page 2, there's also a ton of ways to and ideas for how to encourage others during this tough time. Oftentimes, if we can get out of ourselves and help someone else, it gives us a chance to feel needed, and it gives us something else to focus on other than our worries and stress. So take a look at the list, and I challenge you to do a few of those things on the list each week. All right, one last thing I want to show you, because I've understood through my check-ins that many of you are still a little confused about how to use Google Classroom. So let's pop over to my Google Classroom. All Google Classrooms work essentially the same, but different teachers set up the classwork section a little bit differently. You guys are probably very familiar with the Stream tab, the one that we're looking at right now. And you'll notice you're probably used to looking at what is due here on the left-hand side. This has all of the due dates for whichever day, and if you want to view the entire list, you can click View All. It also has this very messy area where there's all kinds of notifications, and as you can see, mine goes on forever and gets very confusing. That's why the Stream tab is good for announcements, and I will usually just post announcements to you here. I know your assignments also show up here, but the best place for you to spend your time in my Google Classroom and most teachers' Google Classroom is in the classwork section. So let's pop over and quickly visit that. In my classwork section, I have divided it by topics, and those topics are located in order here on the left-hand side of the screen. So you'll notice that I put tutoring first, then the daily check-in, the Zoom chats, the Listen Wise assignments, the independent reading assignments, and then these are just cool little tidbits to encourage you that you can check on every once in a while. That's the Moment to Encourage section. And then there's a whole bunch of information if you're interested on COVID-19. And then there's one document there with all the district's emails home to your parents. So this is really the section where you're going to spend your time. The other piece where you should check every day is right here under the Create section. For me, I know yours looks a little different. I just posted yesterday the grading choice form, and this is the form that when you're ready, you can fill out for your grading choice for each of your classes. But right underneath it is our daily calendar. And this, when you click on it, will pull up our daily calendar. I have posted everything on the calendar. So if you want to know what discussion group you're in and when that discussion group meets, it's located right up here at the top. I try to change the picture every once in a while. Right now, this is a picture of the tulips in Holland. And then I've labeled it by week and I've color coded every other week so you're easy to find. And I posted exactly what we're doing each day. And then down at the bottom, I have your Zoom meetings listed as well as our class discussion links too. So you've got, as well as the tutoring is down here as well. So this is a great place for you to locate everything. You'll notice that some of you have red for your name. That means if you missed your check-in with me for that day of that particular week, I coded in red so I can keep track of your attendance. So Jaguar, Javier, Mersal, and Nilab need to schedule another check-in with me for one of our tutoring days this week. That would be Wednesday, which is today, or Thursday, and we can catch up on those days for you. All right, so this is the calendar, super helpful. It also has all the links, great place to check every day. Keep this open along with your schedule tab and you'll never miss anything for my class if you're paying attention. Back to Google Classroom really quickly. If you, for instance, want to get to one of these sections quickly, like you're thinking, oh, I need to prepare for Monday's independent reading, I should click on independent reading, and it will take you right there to the most recent assignment on the top. Tomorrow, or today, when you're watching this video, it will be our Listen Wise meeting. So you can click on the Listen Wise, and you'll see that tomorrow we'll be discussing the booming business at the toilet paper factory, and we're also going to discuss last week's, which is the grocery cashiers on the front lines. So those will be the topic points for our discussion at tomorrow's Listen Wise discussion. To get back to the top, all you have to do is click all topics, and voila, you are back at the very top of the classwork section. So if you have not been hanging out in the classwork section area of your Google Classroom for my class or other classes, you should start doing that. Super helpful section. All right, well, I think that's it for my tips today. It took a little longer than I thought, but I hope this was helpful, and I will expect to see everybody at our meetings. And now that you know where they are and where the links are, you will not need to text or email me as much. I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Take good care and stay safe.